All right, I'm going over my most anticipated games of 2025. 2025, I think, is mostly like not too much known about it so far. I'm not sure. A lot of release dates. If you kind of look at the lineup of stuff, there's a lot of stuff that hasn't been dated yet, and a lot of stuff that really hasn't been announced. There's some things that we can expect, and I'll go over that later in the video. But as far as stuff that is, said to be coming out 2025, it's a pretty minimal list, and as far as things that are dated for 2025, it's even lower number of games there. And I think a big part of that is like there are people waiting for Grand Theft Auto 6 to get its release date because no one wants to be out like probably the same almost month period as GTA 6. Maybe Nintendo is bold enough to put stuff out there because I don't think their audience is really aligned that much, but no one who's trying to sell on PS5 or Xbox Series X is going to be putting their game out that close to GTA unless they want their game to just die. So I think that's a big part of it, honestly. But I'll start over kind of with the games that are dated currently, and then we'll just kind of go from there. So first game I had was Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. I think this is just a really goofy idea. I think it sounds fun. Obviously, just taking some of the assets and some of the stuff from Infinite Wealth and putting a new game. I really like how the Yakuza games are able to do that, where they're just like, you know what? We don't need to rebuild something every time. We'll throw out a game like once a year. It's something different, something new, something fun, continue the story. And the side content is different, but, same maps, a lot of the same models and stuff. I think it's pretty effective use of resources, honestly. And I think this is a interesting enough kind of way of going about it where it's like I didn't expect them to make a pirate game with Majima, so I'm excited about that, and I think that's going to be pretty cool, and I'm looking forward to that one. Next, some just overall, there's some dated and not dated games that are like compilations of older games, so I figured I'd give these a shout out. On March 6th, the Suikoden 1 and 2 remaster comes out. That was supposed to come out last year. I don't know what happened there, but I'm happy that Konami's throwing this out. Obviously, these games are pretty pricey, especially 2 to get a physical copy of these days, and I've never really tried them. I tried Suikoden 2 when it came to like PS3, but I didn't put too much time into it. So I'd like to give these ones a shot, see what the hype is all about, because I know 2 is very well regarded. 1 not as much, but I know people still like it, but I know 2 is very well regarded, so that is pretty cool. March 6th, those games are being remastered, as well as Ever 17, The Out of Infinity, and Never 7, The End of Infinity. These are 2 classic visual novels that have never really gotten official release in the United States. And these are coming out. I don't know if there's a physical version of this, but these are also coming out March 6th, kind of combined into one pack. So looking forward to that. I know there's some discourse about whether or not their localization's any good, but as far as things go, this is the first time that these games are really able to be played in English, to my knowledge, accessibly at least. I think they released them on like a DVD or something way back in the day, but obviously that's not the easiest to track down. So I know that these are kind of known as pretty legendary visual novels, so we'll be interested in checking those ones out when those come the same day as Suikoden, I guess. And then also, it's very cool that they're doing a Lunar kind of double pack collection as well. I'm pretty happy to see that. I think that's pretty cool. And didn't expect Lunar to be really the series that they would bring back, but hey, I am all for games kind of just being brought back and being able. I've said this before, but like the PS4, Xbox One, Switch, that's kind of just like the baseline now for stuff, where it's like, yeah, these games are going to be playable on 100 million of PS4s and 150 million Switches and whatever, and 50 million Xboxes maybe, I don't know, but Xbox Ones, but that's the baseline, and then it's going to always be backwards compatible moving forward from there. So you got these games are super accessible to everyone, almost like PC, where a lot of this stuff just works and it is on Steam and stuff, and you're able to play it there. So yeah, have these old games in a collection on those systems and are just playable moving forward. Someone 2040 can go on their PlayStation 7 or something, or their Switch 4, and they could say, oh, I really want to play Lunar. Oh, I'll just go on the eShop and download the Lunar double pack for the original Switch, and it plays perfectly fine, and I'm able to just, experience these games. So I think that's really cool. I hope that we can kind of see that moving forward and see how that goes. Moving forward, the only game that I have dated after that is 100 Line Last Defense Academy. This is a new looks like a strategy game from Tokyo Games and Mediavision. It seems very interesting. So Tokyo Games is Kotaro Uchikoshi and Kazutaka Kodaka, formerly of Spike Chunsoft, and I'm hoping that this one does well. I know they've said before that Tokyo Games is pretty much dead in the water if this one doesn't sell well, which, not great, but I don't think any of their games. I'm not sure as far as things go, because each game that Tokyo has put out, they've also worked with another developer, so I think that they're more of like the staff as far as story and art and music and everything, and then they work with people who are actually developing the games, so I don't know as far as things go with how that's set up and if they're trying to expand or not, but this is being developed by Mediavision, who developed like Valkyria Chronicles and stuff. So obviously in good hands as far as a strategy game goes, and it has, you can very clearly see by just looking at it, it has that Danganronpa art style. So I think that this game could be pretty cool. Come into, I think, Switch only, which is funny. Switch only for now. Which is funny because it's published by Aniplex, and Aniplex is owned by Sony. So technically a Sony game is being exclusive to Switch coming out. Very strange, but I think Aniplex is under like Sony Pictures or Sony Music or something. So, I mean, it's not under PlayStation, so who really cares? But I thought that was pretty funny. Other than that, games that aren't dated, but I'm looking forward to, that game Clair Obscura Expedition 33 looks like a really interesting new team, new like indie team, but it looks definitely not AAA, but higher budget for an indie game, maybe like AA. Looks like a very cool turn-based RPG being developed in French, so it's not a JRPG, but FRPG, I guess, being developed in France, I should say, not French. Has a pretty good cast. And I think it just could be a cool, interesting game. Hopefully it sticks to landing. I know it's supposed to be shorter, which is good. Not every RPG needs to be 60 hours long. So I think this is only coming out for like $50 instead of 70. So I think that's pretty nice. So looking forward to that one. Death Stranding 2. Very interested to see what's up with Death Stranding 2. Obviously, I really like the first one, but it kind of sets itself up to not get a sequel, so I'm interested to see what they do with it. Everything they've showed of Death Stranding 2 looks crazy, so I'm really interested just by the premise, but also I don't know, I haven't really followed a lot of the previews and stuff. I don't know if what the gameplay is, because I could see them going in a completely different direction for the gameplay versus the first one, just with how the story ended up. So I'm interested to see like what's up with Death Stranding 2. But anything Kojima puts out, I'm willing to give a shot, just because very fascinating creator in the video game space. So looking forward. Speaking of Kojima, kind of Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. No involvement from Kojima, but a remake of Metal Gear Solid 3. Kind of weird. I know Metal Gear Solid 3 is like the first in chronologically in the series, so if they want to remake the whole series, it makes sense to start with 3. So it looks like they're keeping the original voice lines and everything. This is not like a kind of reimagining like something along the lines of Silent Hill 2, but more a pretty accurate just remaking gameplay, remaking the character models obviously and everything, but still following the base of the game pretty well and pretty thoroughly. So I'm interested to see how it goes. I know this was supposed to come out in like 2024, but I think it's going to come out pretty early in this year. So not dated yet, but I'd imagine this will come out like the first quarter, maybe April at the latest. And looking forward to this one. So funnily enough, the first version of Metal Gear Solid 3, and the only time I've ever played through Metal Gear Solid 3 was on the 3DS version with the original model 3DS, and I couldn't find the circle pad. So that's the only time I ever played it, with using the A buttons or the face buttons as the camera and playing it on the 3DS. So interested to go from that to a full-on remake. So that'll be pretty cool, but looking forward to that one. Konami has earned my trust back a little bit with how good Silent Hill 2 remake was. So I think that this remake will be at least pretty high quality, pretty good. And I think they were smart in saying like, hey, we're not changing anything. We're not, because I think people would be mad regardless. So interested to see where that one goes. Marvel from 1943, Rise of Hydra. This is from Skydance New Media, which is the team under Amy Hennig of like Uncharted 1, 2, and 3. And not too much is known about this one. It is a Captain America and Black Panther team-up game during World War II. I think that sounds pretty cool. And graphically, what they've shown of it, it looks super impressive. But new studio, new team. I think this is being published by like Deep Silver or something, which is kind of strange. But there's a chance this one might not end up too well, but I think it'd be cool, and I like playing Marvel games. I'll always give them a go, especially when they're like pretty high quality. So I think that this has a chance of being pretty interesting, and I'd like to see what's up with it. But we don't know too much about it yet. It's supposed to come out this year. Hopefully we see more of it soon. Metroid Prime 4, kind of moving over to Switch stuff now. Metroid Prime 4, it is still unknown when this will come out. So, of course, we all know that this was shown off in E3 of 2017. And finally scheduled to come out this year. Very interesting. Retro has not put out a game since Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze in 2014. So it's been a while, and I am kind of the mind that this will probably be a cross-gen game for Switch 2, and we'll talk more about Switch 2 later. But I'm of the mind that this is going to probably be a cross-gen game, like something like Breath of the Wild or Twilight Princess. And I think that would be smart. Launch the Switch 2 with Metroid Prime 4, kind of give the Metroid series a boost, because people are pretty likely to buy games on your new system, especially something as I think a lot of people will see like, oh, people have been waiting forever for Metroid Prime 4. Let's see what the deal is. I got this new system and there's not too much to play on it. So, high quality game like this, I think I'll give it a shot. But Retro's clearly talented, and it has been a long time since Metroid Prime 3 and that they've even worked on Metroid. So we will see how this goes. I have I have expectations that it'll be nothing less than great, obviously, but I'm interested to see when it comes out. And I get a feeling it'll be on Switch 2 and Switch, but we will see how that goes. And looking forward to it. I think from what they showed of it, I was very impressed. Metroid Prime Remastered is probably the best looking Switch game. So, Retro knows how to use that hardware, even if it's not coming to Switch 2. But really want to see how this one goes. Professor Layton New World of Steam is supposed to come out this year. I think this was supposed to come out like last year, year before. Level 5's trying to make a comeback. They have that other game, Deca Police. I think that looks pretty cool, but I don't think that's supposed to come out this year. But it's been a long time since we've seen the Giga Chad himself, Professor Layton, and I really like that series. They had that weird like Layton's Mystery Journey game with his daughter that came out like 2017, but even then that was a long time ago. But I'm thinking of like Azran Legacy. I think that was like 2014 or something. So it's been a while since we've seen Professor Layton. I really like the series. I hope that we can get a good new entry. I'm interested to see how they'll do it, not with the DS setup with the touchscreen, doing it on the Switch, where a lot of people are going to be playing docked and they're not going to touch a touchscreen, and will be playing more than likely with a Pro controller. Interested to see how that'll go, but I also like to see them just port those 6 games to the Switch. I know there are already mobile ports of some of the earlier games that I feel like would probably transfer over to Switch pretty well, but would like to just see those games ported as well. I know Level 5 not doing so hot. I think they put all of their eggs into the Yokai Watch basket, and then that series kind of just petered out. So I know they're not doing so well financially. They put out a few games that kind of bombed. So hopefully this can be the start of that comeback, because Level 5 is a great studio. They've made some awesome games, and during the 2000s they were like absolutely killer. So hopefully we see them again. Another one I'm interested to see is Trails in the Sky First Chapter. So I've been trying to get into the Trails series for a while. I played all throughout all of Trails of Cold Steel, and then from then on I was like buying every Trails game that came out, just so I would be like, okay, I have it for when I get into the series. But I'd kind of like to start from like the beginning, and I mean there's Trails in the Sky on the PSP, and I think you can get it on Steam, but I don't really play stuff on PC very often. And like I could go and get the PSP copy, I guess, but that's pretty pricey. So when I saw that they're remaking Trails in the Sky, the original game, I was like, well, great, that's my starting point. I think it's just coming to Switch for now, which is weird, but they are remaking Trails in the Sky, the classic game, and I will definitely be getting it and hopefully getting into the series from there. Hopefully they remake the other Trails games, because those didn't even get PSP versions in the United States. So hopefully we see those soon. But I'm glad that they're remaking those. And then as far as everything else goes, something I'm not excited for, Minecraft movie. Looks awful. I hate everything that I've seen of it. I just don't even, I don't even know. So moving on from Minecraft movie, I just wanted to, I needed to just shout out the Minecraft movie just for looking like an abomination. Moving on from that, some predictions I have. As far as Switch 2 goes, I mean, Nintendo said outright that they were going to at least give information about it before the end of the fiscal year, which is before March 31st. So we're going to see it. I would imagine with the amount of stuff that's just kind of leaking out more naturally, I would imagine we're going to see something of it in January, maybe even early January. I'm not sure. I could see them just doing a repeat of the Switch 1 where they had that presentation in January and they had the launch in March. I could see that happening again. I don't think that they need to do that because the original Switch, they had that video in October where they kind of revealed the system. I mean, I think we get the idea that it's going to be just a more powerful Switch, so I don't think we need that. So hopefully we have an event soon where we just see the hardware, we see the games, we get that price point, everything like that. And I think it'll probably be $400, I'd imagine. I don't know how much higher that they can go over that, but I think it'll be probably $400. And as far as games, I like I said, I think we'll see Metroid Prime 4 on there, but I think we'll see Mario. I think we'll see a lot of Mario this year. This is Mario 35th anniversary, or no, 40th anniversary. I'm old now. I thought it was, yeah, 40th anniversary. 2020 was 35th. So as far as that goes, I mean, I think we're going to see a lot of Mario this year. I think we'll get Mario Kart 10 close to launch, if not on launch. I think Mario Kart 10 will be there for sure, or Mario Kart 9, I guess. I don't know how they want to count like the mobile game Mario Kart Tour, if they want to count that as 9 or whatever. But Mario, we'll say Mario Kart 9. I think we'll see Mario Kart 9. I think we will see a new like 3D Mario game, like straight up, like a new. Probably not Odyssey 2, but a new game like that. The next kind of iteration of the 3D Mario series. I think that Mario will be big for the Switch 2 in its first year, and I think it kind of has to be, as far as like that's obviously the Nintendo IP, so you want to see Mario there. And other than that, I mean, I don't know exactly. I think from what it looks like, somewhere around the PS4 Pro power-wise, which I think is good. We still have so many games coming to base PS4, base Xbox One, so I don't really think that the power being around that level as a handheld is a big problem. It seems like they'll also be able to be more powerful in the docked mode, which I think will just be good. I play the thing mostly in docked mode anyway. I don't really even remember the last time I played it in handheld because it's just not how I'm really playing anymore. So as far as that goes, I think we'll see a lot of like third-party stuff. I think Atlas will come in and drop Persona 3 Reload and Metaphor on the thing first year or so, and I think that third party will be even easier than the original Switch, just as far as like that it will be on that PS4 Pro level. So I would assume every game that's still coming to PS4, which seems like it will never stop seeing games on PS4, will be also coming over to the Switch 2, and maybe even, I know Nintendo bought that Embracer Group Shiver owned studio, so I could see that Nintendo's wants to maybe be able to say like, hey, we want your game here on the Switch 2. If you don't want to port it, we have a studio specifically for third-party games being ported to Switch 2 or to Switch. They were the guys who I think ported the Harry Potter games. So I could see that for sure. But I really don't know what to expect. I'm hoping with Switch 2 that we see not just another kind of, like, Switch was a big thing, is like, okay, we got the big series, we got some older games, brought back. Who would have thought that they would bring back Endless Ocean and Another Code and whatever else? So we got all of that, but I'm hoping that Switch 2 won't just be like, okay, guys, here's, just over and over again, we're going to get a new Zelda, new Mario, like the same things that we got already on Switch. Like, I hope that that's not it. Obviously, I want to see new Mario. Obviously, I want to see new Zelda. Obviously, I want to see Mario Kart 10, but, stuff like that. But I'm hoping that they also go for some new series, new IP, maybe rebooting like super old stuff that no one expected to see again. That's what I would really like to see out of Switch 2, and I'm hoping that we see that. Obviously, continue the series, continue the Splatoons and the Xenoblades and all that, but I'd also like to see some newer stuff. But I think we got to be seeing stuff from Nintendo soon. They had a pretty solid 2024 for a last year of Switch, although, you can tell it was kind of a B-team-oriented year. But so far for Switch, we have Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, a port of a Wii game, and then we have Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, a port of a Wii U game. So all that's on the calendar right now for the Switch that has dates is Wii Wii and Wii U ports. So I think we'll be seeing something soon, and I'd imagine they'll still support the Switch for a few years after, especially since it's going to be backwards compatible. So I'd imagine those smaller games will still be supported, but moving forward, I'm hoping the bigger games are on Switch too. I know that they haven't dated it yet, but that Pokemon Legends ZA or whatever is supposed to come out. So I'd imagine we see something of that this year. But that's kind of what I have for the Switch and everything. Switch 2, my thoughts. I will definitely be making videos, or at least probably a video discussing my thoughts once they reveal it. I'd imagine sometime this month, but who knows. But otherwise, that's my most anticipated of 2025. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, leave a comment down below with what your most anticipated games are for the year. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And until next time, I'd like to thank you for watching.